All right, guys, let's talk about this. It is not that complicated. It's really not when breaking down the original Mancera Instant Crush and what we're going to be reviewing today with the Intense Instant Crush. And fun fact, I paid $158 from an eBay seller. Uh, Le Parfums or whatever. I bought a bunch of fragrances from them. Literally 2 days after, Fragrance Buy and Fragflex, which is going to be linked below, has testers for 108, which come with a cap, and full presentations for like 120, which is cheaper than they're selling 60 mLs of this at Joma Shop for $100. So you can get it for $50 less than I paid. And I'm going to tell you now, if you like this, you're really going to like this. Stay tuned.
Back again, yet again, once again.
Always giving you the real, one fragrance at a time. It's TLTG Reviews, baby.
So, quick look. Literally, a whole lot of nothing has really changed between the two bottles, as you can tell. There's same gradients, same label. One says Intense, one does not. Magnetic caps with a beautiful atomizer. Does its trick really well. So, God, that's beautiful out in the air. So, for those of you that found this one, the original, to be on the feminine side, because this one's a lot of amberwood, has that burnt sugar, sweet smell, almost cotton candy-like of Baccarat Rouge 540, with a nice kind of heavy white jasmine smell. This is definitely leans a little feminine. Fortunately, the Intense, not the case. Do love that smell though. So a lot of that BR, I'll put the notes on screen for you guys. A lot of that BR 540 sweetness from the way the saffron comes across and everything, it's extremely muted. Like, extremely. This is a spicy leather amberwood fragrance. Let that sink in. This is an amberwood fragrance, sure, but not spicy leather. This has a black leather accord. This is full of amberwood. You got a little bit of sweetness from some caramel, but it's not like a lot of caramel sweetness. It's very woodsy, warm, lightly sweetened, not near as sweetened as the previous one. Point being, I'll go back to it. If you thought this one leaned feminine, have no fear. This is far, far more masculine in the Intense. Now, we'll break down performance. They're both monster performers. We'll get to that in a little bit. But as far as the scent profile, I got to say, they refined it. Just like I found Intense Red Tobacco to be a refined, more privé version of the original, I find this to be the same, but they also changed quite a bit more than Intense Cedrat Boisé and Intense Red Tobacco. They didn't change a whole lot. They added some things. They cranked up oil concentration. They made them stronger. Well, Intense Red Tobacco, not as nuclear as the original, but they refined it for sure. Here, they refined it. They made it more masculine. Honestly, I think they made a better fragrance here. It is far less, smells completely similar to one thing than another. And my fear was this was going to smell like Oud for Greatness. And I had somebody ask in my Scent of the Day Shorts video. No. This is actually no Oud. I assumed, without looking at the notes, that it would have been Oud. No. It's actually heavy leather saffron. Black leather accord and saffron, and a lot of it. And not too much. It balances out. Again, you still get the amberwood. You still get that white floral smell. I don't really get a whole lot of rose as much as I get the jasmine smell from the original, but it is not near as much of the jasmine smell and the florals. I wouldn't even put floral in the top 5 main accords, which I don't even remember what Parfumo has them ranked. I know leather was number 1 because, yeah, the black leather accord in this one, very dominant. We're actually going to give it a little spritz on the hand here. I loved smelling this one. I wore it yesterday, in fact, and did some test spray again last night, and it's really easy to understand. This fragrance is fantastic. This is probably their best Intense so far. And Intense Cedrat Boisé and Intense Red Tobacco are phenomenal. I mean, there's a real argument they're both better than the originals. I 100% like Intense Red Tobacco more than the original Red Tobacco. I'm back and forth with the Cedrat Boisés. I love both of them for different times of the year and different settings, but God, that is so good. It's got that Mancera signature kind of funky woody smell to it that you get in a lot of their fragrances, which is why I initially thought there might have been some oud in there. And it might be a little bit, but I don't remember distinctively. It's not like a heavy oudy smell. Again, I go back to leather saffron. A lot of it. Amberwood, soft sweetness, very peppery, saffron-y type of spices to it, and very woodsy. Very woody dominant. If I was ranking main accords, I would say leather. Then I would go spice. Then I would go woods. Then I would go warm amber. Then I would go sweet last, because that's how far down the totem pole the sweetness has fallen. Whereas with the original, I would put sweet within the first two main accords. Probably up there with floral. I would say floral, sweet, warm amber, spicy. Spicy being last, whereas no. Number 2 behind the leather here. So to me, it's not even close. This smells so much better. If I had to pick between the two, I would take this 10 out of 10 times over the original. And the original's really good for, like, I would say more dressy occasions, whereas I think those same situations this one works. It also works better in casual occasions, far better than the original. Now, performance. No worries. First one was nuclear. This one's the same thing. This never goes away on skin. I don't even know what the oil concentration is. It's an extrait. I would assume it's in that 40% range, just like the previous 2 intense flankers were. It just goes and goes and goes and goes. The sillage never truly calms down. It's 8+ hours, which far, far, far beyond 8. 8 is just where I draw the line. Once you get 8+, it's a super long-lasting fragrance. It just is. So 8+, far beyond that in longevity. Projection on the heavy side. You don't need a lot of sprays here. I did 3 plus the one on the hand yesterday. And I did another one on the neck, one on the hand last night as well. Immensely powerful, guys. You will get a little bit of nose fatigue with this one. But yeah, it's on the heavy side. I would say for 2 hours easily. Really a little bit longer than that, but it's safe play saying it's heavy projection for 2 hours. And the sillage I would put in that moderate to heavy range. It trails, it lingers. I never experienced the skin scent. I don't know what a skin scent smells like on it. That hand spray that survived, I think, 5 hand washings and the shower. And I mean, I literally took Dawn soap to it to try to eliminate it just to see, and it still had remnants that I would at that point call a skin scent, but it was forced to be a skin scent at that point. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not freaking joking. This stuff's crazy. It's what you would want as a performance whore. Looking at price versus performance is where your value lies, which is going to be, I would say, 80% of the people that are going to watch this video. The other 20% are looking for the wearing experience and the smell and what it's like to, you know, enjoy the nuance. My kind of people, the 20%, right? The 80% is more concerned with, is this a beast? Is my neighbors from 3rd grade, 2 streets over and 3 neighborhoods down, are they going to smell me tomorrow from here? That's the 80%. They're looking for that level of performance. Was that exaggerated? Maybe a little. Maybe not. You know who you are. So, again, with satire set aside, all 3 categories here, it's a straight-up beast, which you would expect at this point, with this being the 3rd entry, technically 4th entry, because we got French Riviera as well. 4th entry, I think this one came out before French Riviera, though. We have 4 intenses, basically. All monsters, with Riviera being the weakest of the bunch. This one just as strong, if not stronger, than Intense Red Tobacco. And I would put it in that range of Intense Cedrat Boisé, because I think that's the beast of the beast when it comes to their intense flankers. Final thoughts on this one. It is the better fragrance. I go, again, with the Cedrat Boisés, I go back and forth. It depends on the setting and the situation. With the red tobaccos, I have a clear favorite with the Intense. With Intense French Riviera and regular French Riviera, I'm kind of leaning towards regular French Riviera over the Intense, even though the Intense is more versatile because of the woody dominance that's been added. The sunscreen kind of tones back a bit. Like, it's a more wearable fragrance in more situations than just a summertime chill vibe fragrance like the original, but the original gives me all the feels, so I'm kind of still up in the air about that one. But this, yeah, it's where this was always a 9 out of 10. This is a 9.5 out of 10. This is excellent work. Good job, Pierre Montal. You put another banger out. He's on a run with these intense flankers. I said it before when I said this one would be one of the next ones. The other one I said would probably be one of the next ones is Intense Oud Lemon Mint. Because I look at what's its most popular in the last like 10 years. And Cedrapoise Red Tobacco were the obvious first two choices. This was the obvious third. And I feel like the obvious would be fifth now because Intense French Riviera was a surprise. I got to take a lot of credit for that one being super popular. It's not a pat myself on the back thing. It's like I love it so much and I couldn't stop singing its praises for a long time. I feel like I strongly contributed to the constant sellout of that all over the discounters. So they felt like, oh, we got a hit here. Let's make it intense. Maybe that's not the thought process, but that's my thought process. I think Intense Oud Lemon Mint might be our next one because that's one of its most popular. So this is a 9.5 out of 10. This is absolutely outstanding. It's not quite perfection, hence the not quite a 10 out of 10. But if you had this one or have this one and you like it and you end up blind buying this one, as long as you understand it's a spicy leather version of this one and far less feminine, you're probably going to be really happy. Well, thank you for coming to my TED Talk about Intense Instant Crush. It is a superior fragrance to the original. It's really good. And the thing is, they're different enough to where you can have them both. The Cedrapoises, you really don't need both. The French Rivieras, you don't really need both. The Red Tobaccos, you don't really need both. Here, you don't really need both either, but these are further apart than any of the others are with their original to their intense, to where I could see the justification of having both, which I have both of everything named, but I also review these. It's kind of a different story, but for you as a consumer, I still say this is the better buy of the two, and if you have this one, yeah, you don't need this one, but you'd prefer this one. I just call it a gut feeling. So thank you guys for checking out the video. Again, you can get it for far less than I spent in the link down below. Make sure to like and subscribe before you leave, and we'll see you on the next one.